people don't know how to swim. This was taken from a Gallup poll globally. Now, the root of the problem is that there's a lack of facilities, and this is causing a lack of instructors. Now, what I came up with is, could swim lessons be taught in one of these endless pools or swim spas, which currently creates a current that then creates swimming to be as long as one would like, stationary. So in one pool, decreasing the cost, startup costs, along with decreasing the size or space that you would need, not needing that conventional pool or Olympic-sized swimming pool that many use when conducting swim lessons. And then I also wanted to know, could parents or adults that want to learn how to swim be fine with learning how to swim in one of these pools or one of these facilities? So I conducted some research. After doing 25 interviews with parents, I learned that yes, they would be fine with getting their children into these pools, and even some that don't know how to swim themselves expressed interest in learning in one of these facilities. And then I went a step further to talk to YMCAs, and I wanted to solidify my findings about our swim lessons and swimming, like the facilities. Is there like a lack of facilities, and is there a lack of instructors? And I found out that yes, there is an instructor shortage, not only in the U.S., but globally as well. And a lot of it is going to that root of the problem being a lack of pool time and resources. And then what I really found to be shocking is that the YMCA has stopped adding to their wait list, with over 250 people currently waiting to be enrolled in swim lessons. Then I wanted to go in and see about employment. So I'm going to need to be hiring instructors as well as myself conducting these at my facility. And I interviewed 18 people around that 17 to 24-year-old age to see what they think of everything. And I got a lot of interest in the job, and then they wanted to really, think, okay, this is cool. This isn't just that typical job that you see at McDonald's or fast food. You're getting in the water, something different. And they really like that flexible hours, and then those good wages as well. And then a few of the interviewees were actual swim instructors, and they have been in the past, but really they're limited to that summertime, and they don't have that facility to work at in the winter. Now, my solution is to teach swim lessons from an endless pool or swim spa. Endless pool is actually a brand name. Swim spa is pretty generic, but it kind of sums up what it is. And then eventually franchise this center, so then my goal and my mission can be brought out and into fruition to be able to teach and allow as many people to learn this life-saving skill of swimming. And then inform trainers and prospective trainers of the benefits of doing these lessons and such in a facility like this. Now, the pool itself is a Challenger 15D. So the one that I've been looking at is not by Endless. It's actually by Master Spas. And what it does is create that propulsive current for stationary swimming. And it's designed by the help of Michael Phelps. So it's got some name recognition. And then it's actually used by the USA swim team. They have 16 of them actually lined up in Colorado, where the swim team uses it currently. And then that's getting them ready for competition. So they got that USA stamp of approval. And then so far I've been talking about swim lessons, but I want to talk about the multiple use of this facility. So not only swim lessons, but hydrotherapy, something that can create muscle recovery, can be great for rehabilitation injuries, as well as water walking and continuous swimming. So this will allow for the pool to not only be used for swim lessons, but also be dual purpose, creating another revenue stream. And then I want to bring your attention to the hours of operation. So many students are in school for, between that 8 to 3 o'clock range. So this pool could be sitting empty. But with this other revenue source and this other use for this facility, it's bringing in more revenue and allowing this pool to be able to be used more than just for one activity. Now, the market size. So starting here with 31 million people, they're currently in the swim market, but there's actually over 50 million children under 12 in the U.S. that are in need of swim lessons. So there is some untapped market. Going back up to that 31 million, that includes children and adults that are in swim lessons, but also just swimming, whether that be recreational or paying to use a gym to do their open swim activities. And then getting down to that lower number, there's over 100,000 people in the Eau Claire area, because like I've said now, this isn't just for children, this could be for adults as well. So going into the industry specifically, it's a $17 billion industry. This is the swimming category itself. So this could range from children to adults. And then in the Midwest, the attainable market that I've seen for swim lessons specifically is that 1.9 million. And then after our calculations for the Eau Claire market that I'll get into further, off of one pool can generate just under $300,000. Now getting into my target audience. So swim lessons would be for parents with kids between that age of 2 to 14. That would kind of be our sweet spot. And then for water workouts and hydrotherapy, we'd be looking at adults in that 40 to 60 age. But then again, we're welcoming anybody, and it is a great facility to be able, to conduct from people all the way to that 2 years old, all the way up to that 90-year-old, whatever they're looking for. And then my competition. So I've actually worked currently at Gold's Gym, and I'm one of the instructors now, Eau Claire Fitness. And the thing about that is they got to share between water aerobics, open swim, family swim time. So there's no designated facility specifically for swim lessons. And then swim instructors are also limited there just because people don't know that swim lessons are offered there. So a lot of times people are going to the YMCA or other things like that. And then secondly, there's independent contractors. So there's people that'll do lessons at people's pools, beaches, but especially in this market, they're limited to the summertime season, and they're not being able to go throughout the year, and the YMCA. But I don't want to get them to be my direct competitor because they like to focus on group lessons, limited private lessons, but not as much. And then my facility would be focusing on those one-to-one. And that's kind of where I get into my competitive advantages. So for the most part, it will be one-to-one. If there is that sibling where there may be two people, depending on their skill and age, we could have that in the pool. But for the most part, we'll be conducting lessons very privately, private facility, and we're dedicated to those lessons as well. And then with that stamp of approval with the USA swim team and Michael Phelps, we got that state-of-the-art aspect that'll kind of draw more people in as well. And what I really want to point out is this is the first of its kind in the area. There's no such thing so far in Eau Claire and that I know of in Wisconsin, and I've done some research around the area. What I've gotten is there's people that have these pools in their backyard, but they're, personal use, not conducting private swim lessons. Now, some traction that I've gained so far I'd like to share is that I currently have over 100 people on my waiting list. I've been working with Eau Claire, UWC, and then Small Business Development Clinic. And then I've also been talking to parents, business members in the community that have been gaining a lot of interest. And then I've also presented at a few competitions and then other presentations in the area. Now, I want to get into the financial aspect, get into that financial viability to see, is this idea really realistic? So my main source of revenue is going to be training, that swim lessons, that hydrotherapy. That's going to include lessons and then eventually get into that more therapy, just depending on how everything goes. And then there's some secondary sources, which would be apparel, that aren't as much of a factor. And then hopefully in that year 3 to 4, we can talk about franchising. And then I also didn't want to leave out expenditures because I know I'm going to have to pay the trainers, I'm going to have to have insurance and things like that. And then continuing into my forecasting. So we want to stay conservative with year one with a pool capacity of 44%, which still gives us a total revenue of just under $200,000. Now, the reason that these numbers are lower is because there's hot times that people want to be able to go do like a swim lesson. So like right after school, that 3 to 4, 3 to 5 time is going to be great. But we're going to probably have, 20 people that want that slot, but not everyone's going to be able to have it. That's why we're not operating at that 80, 90% capacity. And then even into year 3 with that prediction of that 61%, we're still producing just under $300,000. And this is, again, just off of one pool. So there's a lot of potential here and a lot of scalability. Now, wrapping things up and into conclusion, I just want to leave everybody with a scary but true fact that drowning is the third leading cause of unintentional death. And there's over 320,000 drownings each year, something that I don't want anybody, child or parent, to have to go through. And that's a mission that Fitness and Strength Aquatics is here to solve.